Well, hello there. This is the last lesson of this fun unit. You have one last formula to know. This involves finding the finding the volume of a sphere. You definitely need something to write with today, maybe your formula sheet or your notebook. You need a calculator. You will be computing volume with pi in the answer, as well as the decimal estimate. So a little note about the sphere. So notice the spelling. It is not pronounced spear, which a lot of people struggle with the sv sound. So these are spheres known as balls. The solid, so it's a circle if a circle was three-dimensional. Alrighty, the formula for the volume of a sphere. This is how you would see it probably in a textbook or any other location. This is how I write it. I think it's easier and it's consistent with the cone and the pyramid that we do everything on top and then divide by 3. Notice that the radius is cubed. Volume is cubed units, and therefore the radius is cubed. If you're finding the area of something circular, we square it because area is squared units. So the formula sort of matches. All right, problem number 1, we're going to find the volume of the Pokeball if its radius is 3 centimeters. We're first going to find this, leaving pi in the answer, and then we'll do the decimal estimate. So let's just write out the formula. 4 times pi times 3 to the third all over 3. It just so happens that this is a good time to review some Algebra 1, that when you have 3 to the third over 3 to the 1, the powers, you subtract them. Anyone remember that? So you end up with just 3 to the squared. Another way to do it would just be to multiply everything out and then divide by 3. But this 3 to the third, we divide this 3 out of it. So now we only have 3 to the second left over. So now what I really have is 4 times pi times 3 to the second. And then I'm just going to clean that up. So that's really 9 times 4, which is 36 pi. And these are cubed centimeters. I would now like to get that answer as a decimal. So multiplying 3.14 times 36. Turning on the calculator first is muy importante. And it's 113.04. So there are our 2 answers for the volume of that Pokeball. Problem number 2. Find the volume of this sphere whose diameter is 9 inches. So the diameter is all the way across, and what that means is this little piece in here, the radius, is 4.5 because you take half. So here we go. I should tell you that with the volume of a sphere, you might actually get a decimal answer because we're starting with a decimal radius. If you start with a whole number radius, you should reduce and get fraction answers with pi. But in this case, because that's a decimal to begin with, we will use a decimal throughout. So the formula is 4 times pi times radius cubed divided by 3. And so I'm going to go ahead and do 4 times 4.5 times 4.5 times 4.5, and then I'm going to divide that by 3. And I get 121.5 times pi. And these were inches, so that will be inches cubed. Again, because the radius was a decimal to begin with, it's okay to have a decimal. Otherwise, you would just work that whole number out and reduce to get a fraction like we've been doing for other problems. And now we need to multiply by 3.14 to get the decimal estimate. And that is 381.5. And that is it, folks. Look at that. Fancy. We've got the back side of paper, but we're not using it today. See ya.